All right, everybody, welcome back to JK Groovy Games. We are here with another episode of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, unfortunately, my video is there, and the audio for the video is there, but the audio for me was not there. And I don't know if just checking to make sure my mic was actually working. I don't know if my mic was muted or what. I didn't check it. The one time I did not check, it didn't work. That is kind of crazy, actually. But yes, it has been a week since I last uploaded, and I apologize. Sometimes you just get busy and things happen, and yeah. So anyway, this is kind of more of a commentary on my own playthrough. I already cut up the video of the dragged out parts because I did get lost a couple times. So, yeah. So we're just going to start in and we're going to start it right now. Okay. So basically, in this video, I have, okay, here, I'm actually going to do the little clap test because, okay, we're going to start it right now. Perfect. Okay. I have to make sure it's in sync. So basically this is going to be a commentary. I'm going to be watching my own playthrough again. Yeah, so it's just kind of how it goes. But anyway, I basically started in no. I started in, where am I? In the forest. Yes, I'm in the forest and I'm going to the Lost Woods because I had to go talk to Serena, or Soraya. Saria? I still cannot remember the name for the life of me. Anyway, I came across this guy again. I went and talked to him. Let's see what he says. He's sleeping. That's right. I couldn't remember. Some of this video is going to be me just kind of wandering mindlessly through the Lost Woods. If I need to cut out a little bit more, I will. But anyway, I saw that I remembered there was all these little challenge courses and I had the grapple and I'm like, I'm going to test it. And it didn't do anything. So I was like, okay, I guess I can't do anything with that yet. I assume it's until I got the bow and arrow, essentially, when I could do that. All these other areas were very familiar. Don't worry, I didn't know what to do with that boulder yet. We find that out later. Came across this guy. What are you, though you wear coquettish clothing? You can't fool me. I promised Soraya I would never let anybody go through here. Yeah, okay, dude. It took me a little bit, but then I ended up figuring out what I needed to do. But I think I tried to go down here to see if this still, like, brought me to the area, because I don't think I had gone back to... Yeah, and then I went back, I believe. But I remember I still need to go back and check out those guys because I have not seen them since I've been Adult Link. So everybody's probably grown up. All right. What do I do here? I think I got my ocarina out and make sure. Because I believe... I can't remember if it was later or here. Yeah. Because I'm getting Psoriasis. I gotta play it in front of this guy. Sorry, this is me. I can't remember what I was doing here. Why am I paused here? What's going on? I don't remember what I did there, but whatever. And of course, I screwed up every time when I played this song, unfortunately. So I had to go back and see it again. This is literally watching this back. It's crazy when it's in the moment versus what's actually happening on the screen. Because I am seeing all of my mistakes unfold right in front of me. It's one thing when you're editing a video and you see everything in person like that way. But when you actually... kind of walk back it, because you know you have your audio and there's reasons with the audio, but since I'm doing more of a commentary, I gotta like respond to me making the mistakes even though I'm the one who made them. That's my issue. So Anyway, the reason why it was hard to cut it is because I didn't have the audio of my voice to go with this, so I couldn't tell what parts necessarily to cut other than the ones I remembered. Sorry, I plays that song all the time. That song. It sounds so familiar. Yeah, I think I was checking something at this point. Sorry, I taught the song only to our friends. Okay, I trust you. I remember what happened. So I wrote down every name on how to pronounce them. Okay, when I see you, I don't know why you remind me of this kid or whatever. I think that's what he said. But I remember I had this. I had written down every name that is pronounced a certain way. Now, it didn't really help me out because some websites would say it one way and other websites would say it another. So still, everybody still had different ways of how they would do it. Anyway, I cut there because I got lost in the words very heavily. And then I remembered these boulders and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I can blow these up. That one had a rupee, and then I was like, okay, yeah, there's another one over here somewhere. Yep. So that's why I had to go through that and blow up everything. It took so long to do this, man. It took so long. I think these guys only sold stuff. To make your quest easier, I can enable you to pick up more Deku Nuts. And I don't think I needed Deku Nuts. I think I had I had enough Deku Nuts, to be honest. I think I had the max amount anyway. And then I had to activate this guy, so backed up a little bit. I waited for him to shoot me. This guy, I believe, had arrows. Yeah, he had arrows, which I said no to, and I definitely should have said yes. I really should have said yes there. Because little did I know, I was going to get a bow and arrow later. I did not know that. I was so mad about that, man. You have no idea. I think I reset right here. Oh, no. I found the right area. Yeah. Because I was trying to find all the areas, and I was like, where do I go again? So I didn't edit this part out because, anyway, from here on, we'll be going through some narrow passages. If you take it slow, maybe you can sneak up on some enemies. Use the targeting to always look in the proper direction. Set your view so you can see down the next corridor before you turn a corner. Once your view is set, hold down Z to sidestep around the corner. The way you won't be surprised by an enemy waiting in ambush. Little did I know, this is what happened. And if only you guys could see my reaction to this, I genuinely was super startled. Like, I was startled, man. That thing, like, I did not know what to expect. I didn't know there was going to be freaking Minotaurs there. Anyway, I might cut this out because I'm going to have to re-edit this footage in. But basically, it took me a while. I mean, not a while, but it did take me a good, like, probably 10 or so minutes to get through here. A little bit longer, but it was frustrating. I spent so much time trying to figure out how to get in there. It was kind of like, how do I get past these guys? And it was a lot of waiting game. So I kind of had to just wait. But I thought I could attack him, so that's what I tried to do here. And little did I know you could not. Long story short, I keep trying to get out. He keeps, like, spawn guarding me. And then on top of that, what happens is the freaking hearts keep going down and down and down. And as I'm seeing this go down, I continue to punch the bag. Like, I know I'm not getting anywhere, but I continue to do it anyway. And I don't know why I did this. Like, to be honest, I really had no idea. I don't know why I thought I could, like, play some song to cool them off, but I think it was more so, like, because he wouldn't move that spawn. I didn't know if he was supposed to walk past me a certain way. But then he kept turning. He kept turning in the cycle of a circle, so I had to, like, I think I had to activate him, and then I had to do something after this. I don't remember. Yeah, look at that. I was so pressed because he kept turning. I'm like, how am I supposed to get past him if he keeps doing this? Anyway, the rest of this is literally just me trying to get through this without getting hit. But nonetheless, this is what happens. I'm going to skip ahead into the point where we are finally like at a good point. So, all right, as you guys can see, I finally made it to this ladder over here. And yeah, it was a long, grueling process. And as you can see, I am at half a heart. So it got to the point where I was just like, I just wanted to try to get through it without dying. And I remember this part, and I was like, oh yeah. I go back up, and then I had to change my mind. I'm like, you know what? I should go back, because on second thought, I should get like one of these guys. I forgot I had the milk, first of all, and then I think I went back to catch a fairy. So I had to drink it again, I think. I mean, I go back in because I thought that I needed... I thought I had an empty bottle already, but it looks like I still had some milk. So I didn't know the milk gives you 2 replenishes, so I used it, and I was like, oh, wow. All right, and then I got my fairy. Naturally, our little revive sesh. So I wanted to make sure that I had that. And then I forgot I had the 2... spirit guys, and I think I turned those in later. I turned in one of them at least. So I'll have to go check that out. I just can't remember what I did there. All right. And then I got to this point. I was like, there's stairs here. And I see this giant guy staring at me, and I'm like, how in the hell am I supposed to get past him? So I wait for this guy to get past because I'm like, you know, I'm just going to like... No, I'm not going to deal with this again. You know, I'm not going to go through. So I was like, I'll jump across. All right. And then it took me a couple seconds to figure this out, but it wasn't too long. So I think I get hit once. Yeah. Get hit once. And then the homeboy just decides to continue, and I piece it together. I locked in and passed him with flying colors, of course. Then I get to the temple, and we have a cutscene. A tree stump? Link's all curious, and then Sheik drops in. The flow of time is always cruel. Its speed seems different for each person, but no one can change it. A thing that doesn't change with time is a memory of younger days. In order to come back here again, play the Minuet of the Forest. And I learn a new song. It's quite a peaceful song. And of course, I already screwed up. I know, now that I have the upgraded Ocarina, I can play more in-depth songs. That include other buttons other than just left and right. Kronk, I'll see you again. I'll see you again. Now, obviously, people who were playing this game at the time did not know Sheik was Zelda. I kind of still, like, have that process of, like, I'm not supposed to know, but I do know, you know? And, of course, me being dumb tries to figure out what the hell to do. So I go stand on here, and I'm like, oh, I probably just need to, like, try to grapple. And the one place I'm supposed to grapple, I look right at it. And let me tell you, it took me forever to actually do that. I left, and then I came back. There's other things, obviously, but after playing this song, I realized that it was just a teleportation that brings you back here. Because every time it said warp, I was like, oh, I figured it out. And then I warped back to the same spot, and then I'm like, oh, it's just a warp point. So I skipped it because this is when I went back out, and I went back to here just to cover all bases. And I talked to this guy, There are some people in Kakariko spreading rumors that I cheated Talon out of the ranch, but don't be ridiculous. That guy Talon was weak. I, the hardworking Ingo, poured so much energy into this. I don't want any strangers like you saying anything bad about me. Listen, the great Ganondorf recognized my obvious talents and gave the ranch to me. I will raise a fine horse and win recognition from the great Ganondorf. Say, young man, do you want to ride one of my fine horses? And of course, I was like, yes. Pay me 10 rupees and you can ride. And I was like, sure. You want to hear about how to ride? And I listened because I had never done it before. Approach the horse quietly and stand by its side. Press A to mount up. Use the stick to make it run. Once it starts running, press A to tap it. With the whip, it will speed up. Cool. When you want to jump over an obstacle or a fence, accelerate and hit it head on. If you try to jump over a fence at an angle, the horse won't like it, and it won't jump. After the horse comes to a complete stop, press A to dismount. Now, have fun. And obviously, I don't trust this guy because he's a freaking sleazebag. This guy, dude. He freaking looks like the guy from Meet the Robinsons, the bowler hat guy. Am I crazy thinking that? And this was the first time I got to ride a horse, so it was just a minute of me practicing riding a horse. See, I told you I got to ride a horse at some point. Now, I obviously know that I believe you get to ride a horse at some point in the open field. I don't know when that is. I don't even know if it's gonna happen. I just, in like the opening sequences, like Link's on a horse and stuff, so I don't know. I feel like at some point you're gonna be able to do it. Of course, the carrot stamina thing, it's very common in Nintendo games when they use that. I've noticed that. When I was doing it, I'm like, okay, this is pretty familiar, honestly, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, after I finished, I just got used to riding the horse, and that was it. Not that I needed it, but it was kind of good to know that it was there. Time's up. And then he wants me to pay him another 10 rupees just to practice again. I'm like, you stealing money from me, man. So I turn around and I leave and I go back to, I think the castle next to figure out what was going on over there. Yes, I did. Okay, perfect. So of course I talk to Navi because I'm like, where do I go? And then she tells me the forest. And so I'm like, dude, and I'm going to be honest. Navi is right. Every freaking time. Also, this was the first time I went to the castle itself after all this happened. So all of this was kind of fun to experience when I was like, whoa, dude, everything's dark and red and black and gray and brown and just dark and depressing. And I just was like, holy cow. And then it's again, it's castle. And I freaked out. I was like, dude, this is where the final boss has to be. But I was like, I wonder if I can still, like, do stuff in here. And then I go up to the edge, and there's, like, death down there. And I was like, okay, yeah, time to continue on. I think I go over to these rocks thinking I can blow them up, but that did nothing. Because, unfortunately, you can't just blow up every rock in here. But some rocks are indestructible, I guess. I don't know how those aren't, like, how I can blow them up. But then I see the Skulltula. Of course, I have to try to get him, but I look into the dark depths of the abyss, thinking about what I have to do later. This was also me testing out the grapple to see if it still worked like the boomerang, and that was my confirmation. So, yeah, I think I go down here too to try to blow it up. But this clearly is an end game thing. Like, I can tell this is the final thing. Hey, you gotta cover all bases, right? You know, you gotta check everything before it's done. So, of course, I left the castle. Nothing there. I think I ended up going back to Kakariko Village, but I think I skipped all of that because no. There was one part I discovered back in the village. Yeah, I was just trying to figure everything out, but I figured out how to get over here. You stand up here, and it just auto like clambers, man. And so I was like, this is the first time I'm over here. Great. And so I'm like, who's this? I heard that Lost Woods, where fairies live, is a strange place with many mysterious smells. I wish I could just once make medicine with some of the strange things I might find there. I may not be able to see very well anymore, but my nose still works fine. Yeah, okay, creepy old lady. And then she has the same dialogue, but I'm like, what is this place? Little creepy lady. She looked like one of those characters out of Courage the Cowardly Dog. You know what I mean? That's what she looked like to me. If anybody else knows what I'm talking about, deep cuts, there we go. You know. I grew like I was born in the 90s, so I grew up with a lot of the cartoons in the 2000s. I was born in 98, to be exact, so tail end of 90s. I wish I was born a little bit sooner, but I still got to experience a lot of the 90s nostalgia, and it bled into the 2000s, so luckily I had older step siblings and stuff throughout that kind of introduced me to a lot of these things as well. A lot of it was discovery because I had cousins and stuff, and we just discovered stuff. Same thing, I have a cousin who's 10 years older who kind of introduced me to a lot of it as well, so it was always fun. What an annoying person interrupting us like this. Don't you agree, my love? Yeah, these freaking annoying couple over here. I wonder if I talked to them during the day, if it was going to be different. And then I thought I could blow up this, and then the one rock that I know I could blow up, it wouldn't let me. So I was like, okay, I can grab it. Like, I saw the indicator, but it wouldn't let me grab it. So that has to be, like, something later. Or maybe I can only do that during the day? I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. So I think I ended up, like, leaving after I couldn't figure out anything. By the way, before that, I spent so much time in the village talking to everybody again. Nothing. I didn't get anywhere. Of course, I ended up going back here to the place, and then I was like, Kate, there has to be something here. They kept telling me to go back here, and I learned the song to teleport back, so I go back here, and I tried to grapple, and nothing was working. And so I was like, okay, why would I get the grapple? Why would they tell me to go to the forest after this? You know? And so I'm like, there has to be something here. And what does that happen? It finally locks on. I get up to the top, and I literally had a moment of just like, I just couldn't believe. Like, I could not believe how dumb I was. Like, not checking that. A branch, a clear branch that looks like you could grapple to it. I just had to sit there and think, wow, I cannot believe I did that. So anyway, that was interesting to come across. But yeah, I go back in here because I had to go and check everything out. And this was our first temple. And I come across these guys and I'm like, whoa, dude. We got some wolves here. So I started locking in, getting more like, you know, into my my actual stances and stuff, and preparing how I slice and dice and versus how I like guard and whatnot. I had to be more particular when it came to it. But this was the first like challenge, so yeah. And then I discovered you could go up here, and then of course I saw some Skulltulas, so I dropped down to see if I could get some of them, but I don't think I could reach those ones that high, so yeah. But that one, I think I ended up getting that one too, but I fell down, of course, because I'm an idiot. What idiot does that? And then yeah, I go back out because I'm like, no, there's something down here. It has to be. So I was like, that has to be where I gotta go, so I'm gonna go back out. And then I was like, great, I have to fight these wolves again. Of course I had to fight these wolves again. Let me know if you guys have ever had somebody commentate on their own videos. I honestly, so I contemplated filming it, but I had already saved first of all, so it'd really be me watching my video but pretending like I lost the recording. I just was like, you know, I'm gonna commentate on my own video. I'm just gonna commentate, honestly. And then Navi's trying to talk to me, so what I do is I ignore her like normal, you know. But I know she probably gives me a hint of like what to do with these guys. But I just gotta lock on more, like I was doing there. I think I tried to, I tried to get the Skulltula here, but I knew I couldn't reach it, so I knew I had to go back up to the top. And then there was a secret up here, so. Which I would have, honestly, I would have had to come back here anyway if I had not done this, because there is, you know, there's a chest that has an item in it that I needed, so. Of course, me trying to get this. I'm like, you don't actually have to lock on. I didn't realize that until after. So that was kind of interesting. I don't remember if it happened. It definitely didn't happen here. I think it happened when I was in the temple. So you guys will see that. Yeah, I opened this chest, and then of course after I'm like checking every nook and cranny to make sure I can if I can grapple. So what do? Is I like try to see if I can go anywhere else. And then I think I pulled out my grapple at some point. No, I just go back in. Okay. It must have been at a different point in the castle. So. Yeah, dude. This is the first time we've actually gotten to like an actual temple. And I don't know how many of these there are going to be, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to come across, honestly. And I loved the puzzles in it. It was really fun to do. So I freaked out when I saw these. I'm like, all these ghosts are different, man. I have to fight every single one of them. This is the most, like, what reminded me of Mario. A, the sound of the boo. Right there. And B, it was just kind of like going to these different rooms, getting a piece of the puzzle. And I know Zelda's kind of done that. Like, that's what Zelda's known for. So my lack of knowledge of not playing a Zelda game, of course, I have Mario to reference, but maybe, for all I know, Mario could have taken reference from Zelda. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and then I first go in this room, and I'm like, whoa, dude, we got so much stuff. We got a new enemy. We got all these things, and so I was freaking out because I didn't know how to do this, like, fight this guy. And I think I pulled out my shield, yeah, and then I figured it out after that. But I still took, like, too many hits there, man. I think he took two and a half of my hearts there, which sucked, man. It's never fun when you're, like, losing hearts in stupid ways. When you know that there's no point in losing a heart like that, I was so mad, dude. I was so mad. Yeah, so I can't grapple, so I know I have to, like, climb up. This was one of the puzzles where you had to go back and forth a lot, and you'll see that later, unfortunately. I don't think I edited any of this out, so this is all, like, pretty raw, which I probably should have, just because there was a lot of, like, kind of back and forth. But not like, a lot. It didn't take long. It just took me, like, a couple minutes, you know? And then I saw grab, so I was like, okay, pull it. Because the arrows are pointing toward the screen. And then I was nervous because I'm like, okay, how can I get past? And I knew I couldn't push it or pull it from that way. So I had to either like commit to pushing it back. But before checking, of course I had to check from the other direction. So I go back and find a different direction for me to go. I think. Let me see. Yeah, I do go that way. Okay, perfect. And then it clicked, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can just push this one more time. And then, of course, I didn't push it far enough, so I had to go back and do it again. Oh, man. Love that. Oh, wait, no, it was perfect. You're right. I did do it. But then I had to go back around to push it, right? It was all coming back together, but it was a lot of it was, you know, ping-ponging myself against everything to solve this puzzle. It was really fun, though. I enjoyed this puzzle a lot. It was the first time we had played this game where we actually had something like this, you know what I mean? Like, I actually felt like I was playing Legend of Zelda from what, like, people explain and say about the game. Everything else has been fantastic, don't get me wrong. It just was so fascinating to, like, finally do a dungeon style kind of situation. Actually, no, because I did do it. You're right. Never mind. I did it in Dodongo's cavern. What am I talking about, man? Yeah, I did it in Dodongo's. So yeah, that was a lot of puzzle solving too. That was pretty fun. I did enjoy that a lot. All right, so I come up here, and I think I came across a different area that I knew. Oh, yeah, I saw this thing, so I just pushed it all the way. I learned my lesson. Did I? I did. Yeah. I just ended up pushing it all the way until I couldn't push it anymore, knowing that that's what I had to do. There we go. Yep, locked in, and then I knew I had to go out this side. Yep. And I saw one of these eyes thinking I could grapple it, but you can't do that. So I realized that it wasn't much longer before I like figured out, okay, I'm definitely going to get a bow and arrow at some point. And of course, I missed my jump like an idiot. So now I know there's only one way I could go. And that was jumping up the box. So it'll take a second for me to get there. Of course. Jump up, Link! This was my most frustrating moment. Like, I ran into that a couple of times where it wouldn't auto jump up. Like, you had to wait for the indicator. And it just wasn't working. So that was frustrating. Any day now. Any day. Perfect. So I go back because I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, this connects. This is the same spot we went. I still checked, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's where we came from. Cool. And so I know there's only one way to go. I don't know why I still had to check it again after it didn't work the first time. I don't know why I did that. I do not know. Like, what was my brain thinking in that moment, man? Sometimes I question how it works. And it's like that second thing, right? Your brain has to test it a second time to be sure. Because if you don't test it the first time, and it surely doesn't work, you have to test it again from a different spot to make sure that it wasn't just that spot. My brain, that's how it works. That's how my brain works, man. Okay. And then, yeah, I wait for these guys to attack me, of course. Nice, nice, beautiful. And then I'm like, okay, there's another eye. And what do? Yeah, I think I grappled it again. Yeah. I'm like, it's a different color, man. It might be, you know? And then I realize, I'm like, oh, I don't have another key. Cool. You need a key to open the door. And then I was freaking out. I was like, oh, that's why I have to go to those other rooms, you know? Here's where things get interesting. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, man. Sorry about the weird cut. We're back to it. Sorry. All right, let's see what we got going on. So, like, when I got to this point, I was excited. I was like, okay, we're here. We're doing it. Cool. Sweet. And then I get to this point, and I'm like, all right, I have 0 keys. And I come across this. Now, obviously, it took me a minute to figure this out. Not like crazy long, but I tried bombing. I tried everything. And I think I even tried to grapple. Let me see. Did I try? I did. Of course I did. But then Navi actually, yeah, she talks to me and she gives me the indicator. So I talked to her. What did she say? Hey, isn't that the same design that's on the Door of Time? And then I'm like, time to get out my little ocarina and play the Song of Time. I'm so smart. You know, this was the best feeling ever. Whenever you feel those moments in this game. Oh! When you get it, you get it. And it makes you feel so good. I mean, obviously, Navi helped me out there. But, you know, when you solve something, there's, like, no better feeling in this game. You know what I mean? That is something that I do love about this game in particular. I mean, Legend of Zelda games in general. I have heard it has a lot to do with puzzle solving, so... I get in here and I'm like, okay, I have this guy to fight. And then this guy, I was worried he was going to give me a nuisance. I only had 3 hearts, so I was kind of nervous about it. So I was like, okay, I need to get rid of him. He needs to die. Which I got him right there. Cool. And then I'm like walking around trying to figure out, okay, what else can I do here? Is there anything in particular that's going to give me a problem? First things first, I go over to this other side, I think, first. Yeah. And then I see that there's a bunch of water in it, and I'm like, okay, I can just dive right in, right? So I tried diving, and then I'm like, okay, actually, dude, I can't make it in time. Cool. So I end up just climbing up. Naturally. Now, of course, I just don't know what to do here. I think I tried to grapple at one point. I don't know if that's right here or later. No, I think it was later where I tried something. No, I did try to grapple right here. Oh, wow. Okay. Fascinating. Look at me go, dude. I just have to try it because, you know, I got to the point where I'm like, I missed that grapple and I was so upset. I was so upset. So I'm literally looking around now, just trying to see if I'm not going to miss it again. Obviously, that tree branch was kind of made for it, but whatever. I felt so stupid in that moment. I had to make sure. So I clearly saw that I couldn't reach this guy. And I was like, okay, let me try to get closer and see if I can kill him now. Now, of course, still couldn't reach him. So I was like, whatever. Of course, I had to try it twice again. That's how my brain works, man. All right. So clearly, this area, I was like, okay, I'm excited. Things are going well. I found a new area. We're climbing up things. I go in here. And then I think it started like a little boss. I don't know how that guy phased through me and it didn't like access anything. I felt so good right there, dude. When I landed that block, I was so excited, and then I just missed like 10 shots. And I was like, okay, whatever, dude. And then we get a chest, and I think this is where I get arrows. This has to be arrows, right? I think so. Yeah. I believe this is where I got the arrows. Oh, wait, that was the map. When do I get arrows? Dude. You would think I would know this. I played this not too long ago, so I would know what I picked up. The map, that's right. That's right, it was the map. You are so right. Anyway, I got the map now, so now I can see where I've been, which is nice. And then I think I tried to grapple over here. Oh yeah, I gotta kill this guy first. And then I felt so smart because I saw the indicator that said target. So I was like, oh, I'll just hit it with my grapple. Does nothing. Does absolutely nothing. I think that's just an indicator saying that you can grapple onto the wall, which is what I then did. I felt so stupid though, honestly. I mean, I felt smart, but like, you know, when I'm trying certain things, no. All right, and then I think I spent a good chunk of like a few seconds here trying to figure out how to get down without taking damage because I'm only at 2.5 hearts. So I was pretty nervous at this point to just jump down. Of course, I had to try to grapple back. Luckily... Okay, calm down. Don't fall all the way down. That's... Yeah, I still took damage there, which was great. And this guy gave me a hard time. I think it was this guy right here. He, like, damaged me a little bit here. Wait, no, he didn't. When did he damage me? There was one point where I had to, like, dodge around a guy. So, clearly, it takes away the water in the well. Okay, so I go over to the well. This is exactly what happens. This is the stupid thing that I did, okay? I still check everything. I want to make sure I'm not leaving a stone left unturned. And so I'm like, okay, clearly I got to go down there. And what do? I decide to go through the door. Like an idiot. Like an idiot, dude. I walk through, and I immediately realize what just happened. I'm like, dude, are you actually kidding me? I have to walk all the way back through all that stuff. I couldn't go back through. It locked me out. I was like, whatever. It wasn't very long, so I just did the same process. Of course, it respawns the enemies, so you have to fight them again. I just run past like a normal human. And, of course, I do that. I'm, like, borderline death right now, you know? So I'm kind of freaking out because there's no hearts that are being summoned. And I didn't want to respawn, so I was really hoping that I was going to do this. Me being big brain moment just grapples up and then goes past. Now, I get worried when I blink on hearts, man. I really do, because It worries me when you hear those noises. I'm not gonna lie. Like any game where you have a blinking heart freaks me out. I panic. I do stupid things. I start like not doing things properly. Like right here, I still took damage. So I'm at half a heart. So I'm like, okay, I need to be super careful right now because this plant guy was gonna kill me and I didn't want to risk it. So I think I just ended up going around him because I was just like, I don't want to deal with this guy. So yeah, I go in the water, that's right. And then I swim past him. I'm like, please don't lunge at me, man. Please don't lunge at me. I was really hoping. So far, he was just out of range, and it was fantastic. I'm actually happy about that. Okay, of course, I'm trying to, like, take it safe. I don't want to die. I'm literally one hit from death right now. So I'm like, hoping that there's a heart down here. You know, which I think there was one. Yeah, there was. That's right. So as soon as I get this, I think I go up like 2 hearts, which is really nice. Okay, a heart and a half. I mean, no, it was actually 2 hearts if you think about it. Okay, this was the arrows. This was the arrow chest. That's right. No! How is that not the arrows? When do I get the arrows? Okay, so now I'm 0 for 2 on these chests. I'm 0 for 2? I mean, like, I know I get arrow. When did I get arrows? Okay, now I'm trying to remember what happened. I only recorded this like 4 days ago. What am I doing, dude? Okay. I think at this point, I was trying to find a grapple. I got the key, so I know at this point where I gotta go. I just was trying to see if there was a grapple point. But yeah, I gotta go back to that other area because the one door that we couldn't do, obviously now we can because we have the key. So yeah, I think that I start making the trek back there, which wasn't long, honestly. It was pretty fast, but I was low on hearts, so I wanted to check this other corner real fast because I knew there was 4 corners, right? 4 ghosts went 4 separate ways. So I go and check that door was like, that was the locked one. And then I'm like, oh, there's nothing over here, but there was pots, and pots have hearts in them. So I was so excited, and I was like, yes, give me all the hearts, man. I was so ready because I was going to be at full health, I was hoping. But then, of course, 2 of them didn't have it, so I was pretty upset. And then I think on this other side I checked, and there were pots as well. Which, similar situation. I think there was only 1 pot that had them, to be honest with you. Yeah, because I think I checked this one. Yeah, nothing. Which, that was so heartbreaking, honestly. That one was kind enough to give me a heart, so... after that, yeah, we were able to go back up to the top. Luckily, we know where we need to go now. So it was pretty simple. This is what I was talking about it being like a back and forth kind of trek situation. Because we constantly had to go in one way and then out the other. And, you know, I have no problems with that. I have no problems with it. I think it's kind of fun because it's kind of like inching your way toward something new, right? You finally get a piece of the puzzle and you're like, great. Now I can go do that one thing that I couldn't do. It's like it all clicks, it pieces together, and then your brain just has this, like, this moment of, I did that, you know? And it's a satisfying feeling. It really is. I love it. So I was really excited when I got to go back. But that wasn't the first time I had to do that. It happens again, dude. Oh, man. I got so frustrated with this. I couldn't bear... how it took a little bit longer than normal to just, like, climb up those things, to be honest. Sometimes it was automatic. You just go up to the edge and he pulls himself up. I don't know why he wouldn't do it every time. Sometimes you had to hit waiting for the grab mechanic or the climb mechanic to happen. So at this point, I still take some damage. And honestly, it was kind of stupid damage. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah. Okay. And then... I finally get the key to open the door, and I was super excited because I'm like, cool, progress. As soon as I saw this room, I freaked out. This corridor is all twisted. I kind of was like, is something going to happen here? But it was just a weird room, which kind of reminded me of Mario, to be honest, like having like kind of a sideways upside down room. Watch for the shadows. I remember seeing that, and I'm like, okay, sure. It's kind of light in here. And then I see this door was locked. I'm like, okay, I have 0 keys. Cool. So I have to go in the room, find the key. I fell down on accident. That wasn't on purpose. And then I like walk around trying to look for a chest. And then this freaking thing happens, dude. If you guys saw, okay, if my video was there and you would have seen, I freaked out. I was like, her shadows, they could just pull you out of the... And I don't know if that was the ghosts or if they're like some other entity in there that was conjuring me up. I was freaking out, dude. I was like, what in the freaking horror is this? It's kind of crazy to think that this was a kid's game, man. A kid's game, and people played this at a young age. I mean, there's some dark elements in this game, man. So I know there's one place to go. I was like, okay, I clearly went through everywhere. Go straight. I haven't checked this out yet. So I go through the door, and I come across not only something new, but a freaking... Oh, it wasn't this room. It was another room. Hold on. I think it was the next room after this. It was like a mini boss. It wasn't... Okay, mini boss is a stretch, to be honest. It's like a... What do you call it? Like a enemy room? Enemy wave room or some shiz? Of course, I have to check with my grapple and everything because I had PTSD from that. But yeah, there's these enemies. And I was like, dude, new enemies, no way. And these ones, you actually have to like... duel. You know, you had to actually shield up. And it was actually fun to battle these guys. I felt like I was worried. So yeah, it said lure in if you're close, watch its movement carefully, attacking when it drops its guard. Yep. Stalfos, is that their names? That's crazy. I didn't realize that at first. But I was low on health, so I was kind of nervous. I was hoping to like kind of just walk in. But at this point, I didn't realize if they hit you, they did like 3 damage. So I was like, cool, I'm on it from death. And there you go. I die. But of course, I had my fairy. I had my super revive, so I was really happy about that. Which at this point, I was like, I got to make sure to go get another one. I had to remember because that was frustrating to deal with. Luckily, I'm just goated at this and locked in after. And yeah, basically beat them to a pulp. Except I had to deal with the camera. That was the biggest challenge in this boss fight. For some moments, not all moments. Like when it locked on, it was easy. You know what I mean? But sometimes, yeah, Link would kind of go behind him or something. But I felt good. You know, I felt like an actual proper duelist. Oh, this is where I get the arrows. That's right. This is it. Yeah, now I'm remembering correctly. All right, time to get those arrows. No. When do I get the arrows? What? Why? I played this game, dude. I played this. How do I not remember what I got? And it makes so much sense. The key you grab to open the last door. Why didn't I piece that together? Why am I forgetting this? Obviously, when I played this, that wasn't the case. I was excited. I was like, oh, the final key. Cool. Now I can go back, open the door. Sweet. And now me commentating on my own video that I recorded, and I don't even remember what was in the stupid chest. Why am I freaking out about this? I don't know why. This is so stupid. I guess I'm upset because I'm 0 for 3 on the chests. When do I get the arrows? I know I get arrows at some point. And I thought they were in a chest. Why am I not remembering this? This is so stupid. I swear, dude. I swear. It better be in like the next. If I go like 0 for 4, I swear. I know there's another chest I get it, and that has to be the arrows. Like, I kid you not. When I was playing this, I was so excited. I was like, cool. I can progress now. This is great. Love it. But watching it back, I know what I get at the end. And I'm like, okay, cool. When do I get it? Now I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, no, because you got to go through the shadow room. You got to open the door. You got to get through there. So I was like, cool. Finally got the key for that. Awesome. Locked in. And then I come through this, and I was freaking out when I saw these empty paintings. I was like, are we going to have some Mario 64 moments? Are we going to be jumping into these paintings? So, of course, I get the grapple out. First thing I ever do. I try bombing. I try everything because I'm like, what is this new thing? And so I'm kind of like just looking around. I'm like, okay, can I do anything with it? And I was just like, whatever, I'll just move on. And I saw a second one. I was like, okay, whatever. But then I saw that. I was like, okay. And so I heard the noise, go back. And it's freaking disappeared. And this is where I started freaking out. Started like having a panic attack kind of. I'm like, oh my, are these ghosts going to just attack me now? And I feel like those things I have to light on fire. Also, there's this giant pit right here. I didn't check it, but this guy was able to walk across. But I come this far, and so I kind of don't want to go near the pit because I don't want it to like reset. So I just stayed away from it. And I fought the guy after. I was like, cool. You stay over here. Do not push me in this pit. Because I didn't have a revive either. And I was worried that it was going to be like an instant death. So I was like, okay. But this guy can just like hover over it like some magical creature. And then this thing collapses. And this is where my brain was like, well, what was down there? Could I have checked something out? I don't know. So I don't think this isn't the type of game where if you like, I feel like, well, actually, I don't know. Because if you move on from the time sequence, then there's stuff that I feel like you could miss from young Link, like a kid Link or whatever. So maybe there was something down there, but whatever. At this point, I'm just like focused on the battle. I'm just like, okay, let's just get these guys. Let's not get hit. Let's not die. Luckily, there's some bots though. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is a wave of enemies. Those bots have to have some health. So I was pretty excited about it. Oh, this is the arrows. This is the arrows. Lock it in, baby. This is where it is. Yeah. Time to get the arrows. Here we are. Dude. You got the arrows from the pots, dude. Dude. It was the bow you got from the chest. How did I forget that? I think I got, yeah, literally right there. I get the arrows. Why did I think I got those from a chest? Literally, you get the bow and arrow. You literally get the bow and arrow. That is the one thing you get. How could I forget that? I don't know why I'm getting so pressed. Maybe because I'm 0 for 4. I don't know. I'm just upset at that. I don't know. And then I get to this point and I'm like, okay, I have no keys, but I have the bow and arrow now. So I knew I had to go do the eye stuff, you know? I just was upset because I'm like, dude, I thought I got the arrows from the chest. Oh, no. Whatever. Anyway, that was the video. I know it was a little bit different. It was a little bit of a commentary. But anyway, guys, I hope you all still enjoyed it. And as always, I hope you all leave a like, subscribe, and share the video. Hopefully, this is the only time this happens. I hope you guys still enjoyed it. But anyway, hope you all leave a like, subscribe, and share the video. And as always, everybody, stay groovy. Have a nice day. And we will catch you in the next episode of JK Groovy Games. Bye.